people don't give a shit.
He's giving them the business.
All the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's got it.
Goes Davis.
Oh my God.
Davis is going running all the way back.
It's going to win the football. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
To the 40, Herman Whitfield to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown FSU.
Yo, welcome back to another week of College Football Extravaganza. We're coming at you hard and fast. We got Joey, we got Justin. Davis is busy working. He might hop in later. But most importantly, we have a special guest. He's a comedian out of Mobile, Alabama, and he's out. Well, I shouldn't say out of Mobile, Alabama. Performs in Mobile, Alabama currently, from Kentucky, and a former Kentucky football player, Mr. Eddy Kane. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank y'all for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And we try and be funny on this podcast, but you're actually funny. So, and I saw you live over at the Big Top in Pensacola. You had a great 5-minute set there. That's all we get. But I'm sure I'll see you around more often since I'm doing those sets too as well. Come see your boy too. Come see me out there. Joey came to tell me one night.
I did. It was semi-funny.
It was semi-funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Don't lie. All right. So before we start the show and start talking about football, I want to share you guys a clip that Eddie's given to us, and hopefully you guys laugh along.
I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I used to play running back for the University of Kentucky back in 2012. I used to play running back. Don't clap for that. Don't clap for that. Because I was going to the NFL. I knew it for a fact. You know what I'm saying? I was going to get millions. I was going to get my mom a house. I knew it. Then I came down here and played LSU. And then I realized there's different levels to this football shit. These kids are different. These LSU kids are different. I got hit so hard. I remember getting up thinking like, you know what? I'd rather tell jokes for the rest of my life. I don't need this type of treatment at all.
I thought it was longer. You caught me in the middle eating a chicken wing.
Damn.
I remember you did that joke at Big Top. I was like, I got to get this guy on the podcast if you played for Kentucky. I still laugh, so it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about, those different levels of athletes. That's where it started.
Speaking of different levels, you mentioned you and your wife are going to go to a high school football game this Friday. Me and Joey used to play high school football together, and this next clip kind of speaks to that. Different levels to this game. No, just to preface this, like, we played Pensacola High School in 2009 when they won the state championship, and we played them on a bye week, and we were JV. We were the JV squad. I was freshman. Joey was sophomore. Should have been on varsity, but they didn't know he was a good center, so they had him at linebacker at the time. Anyway, we played VHS with all their boys, with all their varsity boys, and that's kind of what happened. Joey's so pissed right now, dude. I'm so sorry. And I'll play the whole thing. Joey's... okay, no, this is Womack first. Womack's right there. Blow, son. He's done. That's courtesy of Zach and Cody, too, by the way. Yeah. See, that's me right there. I was very close to getting decapitated. That's me, number 7. Did not have my head on a swivel. Joey is right here, number 56. He also did not have his head on a swivel.
52.
Wow. No, he took out 3 players, dude. I never knew he took out 3 guys. One. Oh no, he's already. He just tripped over his own guy.
Yeah, they're just teeing off on y'all. Oh my God. All y'all had your head in one direction.
Yeah, dude. It was bad. Well,
that was when I got a concussion so bad I didn't play until the last game. game of the season.
Yep.
Concussions are always fun because it just feels like somebody hit the reset on your brain. You just wake up, you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
So much fun.
I had to sit in a
It's
dark
so much fun.
room for a week. Couldn't watch the lights off, just lay in bed.
The craziest thing about
Awesome.
that, I didn't know it happened. And Joey just got up like nothing was wrong. In the next play, I'm looking at him for a signal because I'm outside linebacker. He's middle linebacker. I think you were Mike. And
Yeah.
I was like, he's got this like 1,000-yard stare in his eye, like he's in Saving Private Ryan or some shit. Like nothing's going on. And I think they had to get you out like 2 plays later. I think you played 2 plays still.
No. Exactly what happened was I got up, I looked at the referee, and the next thing I know, I'm asleep on the ground with the training staff. No telling what happened. I did go back in the game later, though. And then after I went back in the game, I told the trainer, and she took my helmet from me. I was out for, again. Multiple.
Who cleared you to put you back in?
Oh, I did a bunch of reps on the spine. They're like, all right, go ahead. I made a tackle.
They put him on the bike. They had him on the bike. He was just
Like a protocol.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Well, football was different. Like no flags were called in that game for any kind of blindside hits or nothing, dude. It was on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like I'm so used to like playing in the air where you could just do those blindside hits and you can blatantly. Because I played safety when I was a like freshman, sophomore, and I remember our coach telling us like, "Yo, if they throw the ball high, forget the ball, aim for the wide receiver's ribs." And you can't do that anymore.
No.
But I remember those days. That's wild.
We had some coaches tell us some wild stuff. I remember cornerbacks coach. Someone was telling him. Troy told me that one of the coaches. I think it was like Coach Hand. Do you remember Coach Hand? He was like, when they turn with you, smack him in his nutsack. Like, dude, like, being dirty as fuck, dude. Smack him in his nutsack. All right. Here we go. We got people in the chat. What's up, Squilliam Cagle? Do you think West Florida pussies out and declines to come to
He's talking about
Tallahassee?
Wake Forest.
Oh, Wake Forest. I thought because we were talking about West Florida. Wake Forest is not going to pussy out. We're going to talk about them later. Joey Ferguson repping FSU Joey. FSU. We got double FSU Joeys in the house. 4-0, baby. I'm sure y'all are happy.
Oh.
All right, let's get into it. Week 4. One of my locks, I'll go ahead and go over it from last week. I had West Virginia beating Virginia Tech. Game was close there for a second, but then the Mountaineers went in and just destroyed Virginia Tech. That was a nice game to watch on Thursday. And I'll tell you what, Enter Sandman gets me pumped up every fucking time. Every goddamn time. And then the way ESPN did it was nice. There was like a sunset going on, and they brought him out from the locker room. It was crazy. That's one of my bucket list things to do is go. I want to go when they're actually good though, and it's hard to tell when Virginia Tech's gonna ever be good again. Any guys got any takes on this ball game? No. We'll move on then. That's fine. I just wanted to give them a shout. I always like Inner Sandman, and I always like the rivalry, West Virginia, Virginia Tech. Syracuse, close one to Virginia on the Friday night. I thought Syracuse was going to run away with this one, but it seems like a few teams had kind of slow starts in this game, Georgia being one of them, but Syracuse, just slow game. Virginia liked to come back there at the very end and win it. You got anything, ACC guy?
Yeah, I actually had Syracuse in this game. This is stupid. Like, this is exactly the kind of game that a team, that's 3-0 is going to be really bad this year. And they came out, they surprised them, spread, but they're a good team. Yeah, they pulled out the win in the end.
And Bronco Mendenhall still a coach?
No, he retired.
That's what I thought.
It's for Elliott, Clemson's old offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator.
Justin, were you about to say something?
No, I was just listening. But I had Syracuse, so just watching that game throughout, I was very surprised. Just because Houston, they've done that in the past couple of years, they come out here and then they just kind of fall throughout the year. But they still have Sean Tuck, first round draft pick when his time comes.
You son of a bitch. He was hanging on by a thread, dude. You were hanging on by a thread. And he just.
Yeah, it looks like he's operating like on a PowerPoint.
I know. It looks like he's got like 5 hamster wheels just going below him, just powering his whole fucking setup.
720p.
Holy shit.
I tried to get him a mic. I tried to get him a mic today, and I forgot he texted me like whenever I was trying to set up the show and everything. He was like, "Where do you download it?" And I answered him like a minute before the show. I was like, "Go to Google, dude."
So much now. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get kicked out. You're gonna get booted. Anyway, just restarted, Justin. Just come back on a fresh internet setup, I guess. I don't know. All right, going into the Saturday, week 4. I don't want to talk too much about them because I think they were kind of fucking like people are talking about Georgia like they had a lull. They still beat them by 17 points, 39-22. They beat Kent State. People are saying it was a slow start. Look, I think they were just fucking around. One of their first touchdowns was a tight end around to Brock Bowers, who just took that thing to the house. So I think maybe they were playing around a little bit. I don't know. I didn't watch too much of it other than some highlights. If you guys have anything to say about Georgia, whether you think they kind of slipped, if they have the potential to slip, or if you think they're still a powerhouse and they're just kind of fucking around. That's what I think.
I think oh, go ahead, man.
Okay, with you, Robert. I watched a little bit of this game. It was fun to watch just because Kent State was making a little bet on them at like plus 30, which would have hit. But Georgia's fine.
Yeah, I think it's one of those just trying to like not play down to the level of your competition. It's kind of really hard to do that. I almost use the analogy of a hill. So like if you're playing Alabama, that maybe that hill's a lot steeper and you run and you sprint at that hill. But if you're playing a Kent State, it's more like a small mount, a little small anthill, something, a speed bump. So you don't tend to run as fast at it. So it's really hard not to play down to the level of your competition. But I think that's what Georgia did. I think they're going to be fine. Their defense is just crazy, man.
Yeah. It happens to me every time I play golf with Joey. I don't do as good. All right.
Well, I think the drinking has something to do with that. So.
Yeah, I think the drinking might have something. Yeah, I always drink whenever I play with you guys. I got to stop doing that. I go from like shooting in the mid 80s to like 90s at least. It adds 10 strokes, that's for sure. Anyway, Wisconsin goes into Ohio State, gets their ass waxed.
Who cares?
I don't really care about that. Wisconsin sucks this year. Ohio State's going to be fine. What I did care about was Michigan and Maryland. Michigan, for the first time this year, plays a team that has their shit together somewhat, and they struggled. So I think for this, I just put it in the back of my head and am going to save that for until the Ohio State-Michigan game whenever I pick Ohio State to win. That's what's going to happen. Did you get to see any of this game, the Maryland game?
No, I didn't get to see any of it. I guess it's just me and you, so I'm going to try to give as much input as I possibly can. Oh, here he is.
Joey, as you can tell, our whole crew is just internet issues, so we're going to rename the podcast just
Internet issues.
Not a podcast.
720p.
Rename it.
Yeah, 720. No, 420p. Yeah, that'd be a good stoner podcast name, actually.
Oh, actually, yeah.
You just have to be a real shitty podcast, though. All right. Anyway, Joey, Michigan, Maryland, got anything there?
A little surprised. I thought Michigan would blow them out of the water. They didn't cover the spread.
Oh, shit, son.
Didn't really watch this game, though.
They got two Leah Tungamaloas. All right. Tungamaloas. Do you like that one? Anyway. All right. Clemson, Wake Forest. This was one of the games we were highlighted last week, and I said Wake was going to cover. I thought Clemson would win, but I said Wake was going to cover, and they did. We went to double overtime. Wake Forest liked to have them, but They didn't get him. DJ Uiagalelei, he's got the heat off of him for now, right?
What's his name?
Uiagalelei.
How many times did it take you to get that down pack like that?
I mean, he's been playing for a couple years. I was struggling at first, right?
Oh, I still don't know how to say it. I still don't know how to say Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
No. Yeah. Uiagalelei or Uiagalelei. So it's really good when you're eating a girl out and you just go Uiagalelei. But anyway, so what, Joey? This would have been good if Wake Forest would have won for your FSU Seminoles, because then you got Wake coming in undefeated. You got wait. I'm wrong about that, right?
No, they would have been undefeated.
It would have been, yeah, they're 3-1. So it would have been undefeated Wake, undefeated Florida State coming in. That would have been a hype game. But I think it's still a hype game because the way they lost this game, double overtime, and Sam Hartman, he didn't have to make that throw there at the end, I don't think. If you watched it, it was a tough throw. It's a tough situation. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, this game was really fun to watch. I didn't think it was going to be this high scoring. I'm happy this game came out this way, weirdly enough. I think Clemson, Florida State's going to end up being a really big game, depending on, we'll talk about it, the Clemson, North Carolina State game. Wake Forest defense is bad, man. Sam Hartman's really good. Their defense is really bad. DJ, I still do not believe in DJ. If you watched the second and third quarter of this game, he was not impressive at all. And I think that was more of the real DJ. But they took advantage of a bad defense. You know, they won the game. I think they're very overrated. I think Clemson's very overrated. And I think this Wake FSU game, we'll talk about it, obviously, but it might end up being a shootout.
Yep. Do you think they win without DJ, though? Like, if they had Cade Klubnik in, do you think they win?
I think that kid could be good.
I think it could be good, but I'm saying, like,
Dabo's
right now.
Dabo's known to be stubborn with quarterbacks, man. Look what he did with Deshaun Watson. He played, I can't remember the white kid's name that he was playing number 18 or whatever. He started him against FSU in 2014, and they lost because they started that kid. Deshaun would have played that entire game. They would have beat FSU, and he did it with Kelly Bryant over Trevor Lawrence. He played Kelly Bryant for those first 4 games, and Trevor Lawrence was behind him, clearly the better quarterback. Dabo is stubborn when it comes to this thing. He's going to play the upperclassman, and it's to a fault. So,
yeah, I mean, it's football. Seniority gets some coaches. That's what people complain about Dan Mullen for. I mean, even go back to his days at, I don't know if it was his fault, actually. It might have been Urban Meyer's fault for them not starting Cam Newton over Tim Tebow, because we had Cam and Tebow on the team at the same time.
Why would you start Cam Newton over Tim Tebow?
Because a lot of people were wanting to, because he was beastly. Cam Newton was just as beastly at Florida as he was at Auburn. He just didn't get the start, and they only played him once against Tennessee.
I mean, you know more than I do. I thought it was Cam Newton over John Brantley or something like that.
He would have been there. He was there with Tebow in 2007, and then he stole the laptop, and then had to go to JUCO for a year, and then he went to Auburn.
Okay, I'm mixing up my years. Okay, you win.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, coaches do that. It is what it is. Okay, so what happened? Kentucky. What happened to Kentucky against Northern Illinois? Did they almost?
Yeah, that was our first top 10 game in I don't know how many years. I'm about to say a random stats. It's 98. I don't know. Our offense has got to just get it together. My gosh, man. We got our O-line is just not as solid as it once was. And we just got to give Will Levis a little bit more time. And we did that play down to the level of competition thing. And we still got the dub, still top 10, but it leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. I mean, that's making up. I mean, Kentucky's got a. Let's see. Let's take a look at their schedule real quick. I know they got that Tennessee game there at the very end. Always a bit. No, it's not at the end. It's October 29th. Wow. Normally it's at the end. Y'all got Georgia to finish up the season this year. They switched your schedule up a little bit.
It's not. It's usually Louisville. Louisville's usually our last.
Yeah, Louisville's the last, but SEC wise,
SEC.
Louisville kicked some South Florida ass. I don't know what that's gonna do, but Louisville's really inconsistent to me this year. I think y'all will get them. Arkansas, Texas A&M. This was a good game. I thought Texas A&M would bounce back. Max Johnson's second game starting for the Aggies, and he does good. I mean, like I said last week, I think he's functional. He's better at quarterback than what Texas A&M has had in the past. And Arkansas was very close to, I think, tying this ball game. No, they would have won the game. It was 23-21. They would have won the game. The field goal at the end was off of the top of the upright, and it like bounced out. It like bounced almost straight up and out. It was crazy. But I like this game being a neutral site in Jerry World. It makes it fun for everybody. But Texas A&M, I don't know, man. Coming off of that win against Miami, which is not looking good after this week, but they got 2 wins in a row after that loss to Appalachian State, going in to face Mississippi State. What do we think about Texas A&M? Last week they were ranked 23rd. I just think they're highly inconsistent at this point. But moving forward, I do think they're a little better than they were at the beginning, just because of Max Johnson.
You got it.
I think you're just looking at maybe I would say give that team a year to let that talent develop. I think that they're a highly, highly talented group of kids. But I just know I remember just being in college and like when freshmen come in, like good freshmen versus like a good senior, there's still a huge gap of mentality. And I think the talent is there. They just need a year of balancing college life and everything that comes with it and playing Division I football. And I think they'll be a solid team next year. But that's why they're showing that inconsistency. You just got a lot of young cats running around the locker room right now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I like Texas A&M in this game. It was almost a rat line because they were favored by 2 points. Took them by 2, pushed. I'll take a push every day of the week. But the thing is with Jimbo, man, and it's a bigger conversation, but you want to talk about Dabo being stubborn? Jimbo's stubborn. He runs the worst offense. I mean, the NFL's not even – you can't call it pro style anymore because the NFL's not even running that style of offense anymore. And everyone talks about him being an offensive genius. That offense does work. We've seen it work at FSU, but it works with him. You got to have a really, really, really talented quarterback. What he did with Jameis that year was awesome. He had a couple other good quarterbacks. EJ ran it pretty well. Francois that one year ran it pretty well. But he just doesn't have that guy at A&M right now. Yeah. So he's got to go out and get him. Maybe he was in this recruiting class. I don't know. But until they get that special kid, this is the A&M you can expect. So.
Yeah, that's what I was listening to the Barstool podcast, and that's kind of what they had to say about it. They said they need a quarterback. They got to pay somebody some money to come in and be a quarterback because that's the name of the game now. But they're paying – Texas A&M's got the money to get a good quarterback, right? So it's going to happen.
When Jimbo has the right guy, he puts him in the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah.
I mean, it's proven. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. I think this was our game of the week last week, as it was College Game Day and Barstool Game of the Week. Florida at Tennessee. As the resident Gator fan, lone resident Gator fan here on the podcast, I will say, like, we didn't show up like we did against South Florida or Kentucky. Florida did actually show some life on offense in this game, and Anthony Richardson threw for 453 yards, it says right here, and Hendon Hooker on the opposite side ran for 112 yards, he got out of the pocket, I think, in the fourth quarter and broke an amazing run to set up Tennessee for a touchdown there late in the ball game, and it was just a great game. I was looking at the crowd. I really want to go to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville one of these days for maybe a Florida-Tennessee game, but Tennessee looked good. I think Florida looked good on offense. I think Tennessee had some issues there in the secondary. Florida had some issues with just not making tackles, just leaving too much space open, and busted coverages. I think there was a couple busted coverages by one guy. I'm not going to name him because so many people on Florida's fan base, in our fan base, are like going ham at this kid because he's a senior. And if you know Florida football, you know who I'm talking about. He had 2 busted coverages that just left a guy wide open. And you take a few of those plays here and there. Florida wins this game, so I'm not too disappointed in it. Tennessee's a great team so far. They're going to be ranked in the top 10 this week, and we'll see where they go from here. Justin, welcome back.
Does this thing work?
We can't hear you.
Oh my god.
You can hear him a little bit. It's very, very faint.
Oh, you can hear him?
The audio.
Yeah, I can hear him a little bit.
Super faint.
Oh, I can hear him now a little bit too. Edit your setting.
Trying to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, I'll go. This game.
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
It was a fun game to watch. Florida actually did better than I thought. I thought Tennessee would beat them by a couple of touchdowns. The end of the game was obviously crazy, but I will say, I hate to say it, Anthony Richardson impressed me. I thought it was fun to do the whole he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass thing the whole season. 450 yards. I mean, we'll see how good Tennessee ends up being. But, the thing is with Florida, you're going to have to play the game all year. Are you going to get good Anthony Richardson or are you going to get bad Anthony Richardson? Because we've seen both of them now, and you just got to gamble who's going to show up this week.
Yeah, I do think that. Go ahead and test it out, Justin. I heard nothing. Maybe it was too loud. Maybe it went too loud. Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson is just getting used to this new offense, maybe. And I was really impressed with it too. He moved in the pocket really well, and he made some throws that he wasn't making in the last couple weeks. He also missed a couple, but nothing's perfect. And he threw for 450 yards. Like, I'm gonna give the guy a break on that. I at least wanted to see him do better than he did against Kentucky and USF, and that's what we got. They played a good Tennessee game, a good Tennessee team at Tennessee. Florida did almost win that game though. There at the end, they scored 2 touchdowns at the end, recovered the onside kick. Whoever the fuck that guy is on the special teams who made the one-handed onside kick recovery, put him on defense, put him on all the special teams. Whoever, I don't know who it was, but he needs to be playing the game on the field. Put him on fucking offense for all I care. We had wide receivers dropping fucking passes in the last couple weeks. All right, moving on. Fucking NC State played UConn. Who cares? We had Utah, ASU. No,
Who cares?
no one cares. Oregon at Washington State. That was kind of interesting. Bo Nix did a good job again. Washington State's a decent football team, and I think Oregon's a decent football team now as well. What, Joey?
Did you watch the end of that game?
No, I didn't see the end of the game. What happened? Oh, wait. Yes, I did. It was insane.
It was crazy. This was okay. So gambling wise, I know that's all I do is talk about gambling on the show, but still, I had Washington State +6 the entire game. I'm sitting here thinking, how smart am I? How smart am I? We got the whiteboard. I put a W on the whiteboard next to this bet. Turned off the game. Washington State's up by 2 scores. All of a sudden, I get a text that says, "Oh shit, Washington State. That's such a bad beat, huh? They're losing by like 8 or so, or no, I think it was 10 actually." And so I'm like, fuck, that sucks. So I go up and pull up the ESPN app. They threw a 60-yard touchdown to the 1-yard line and ran it in on the next play to cover. And then they tried to kick an onside kick, didn't get it. But, I mean, it was a wild range of emotions going from sure win to heartbreaking loss to a win again. I mean, it was awesome. That's what gambling is in a nutshell.
Nice. Justin, you want to give it a try again?
I still don't think I have it.
We're getting there, baby. We're getting there. We're 5 weeks into the season, baby. We're almost getting our audio fucking working, dude.
Hey, Washington State might be a decent team, by the way. I think they're a fun team to watch. I was saying before that Mike Leach needed to coach them for forevermore, but they could still be fun.
I agree. And sorry, I'm munching on a chicken nugget. You might have to deal with some mouth noises if you're listening to the podcast, but I agree with you. Washington State went into Camp Randall and beat Wisconsin. Obviously, not a very good Wisconsin team. Tough environment, though. And we didn't know much about Washington State at the time. Ended up surprising me with a win. And here, 44-41. Pac-12 is very interesting to watch, especially these late-night games whenever all the other games are done and they got some West Coast games. I'm actually enjoying watching the Pac-12 for the first time in a couple years. That's all I'm saying. All right. Baylor, Iowa State.
Who cares?
Baylor won that game. I saw a meme. It was pretty funny. There was just like a bear that was trying to break into a house. The door had Iowa State on it. The bear just broke into it. Thought it was funny.
That was when I know it wasn't on, but that was when my locks for last week was Baylor.
That was one of your locks. Good job. Good job.
Kentucky.
I'll give you one of those if you want to stay. We're gonna go back to the Pac-12. Washington beat Stanford. Washington looking good. Michael Penix Jr. had 309 yards passing. Michael Penix Jr. great quarterback, great fit at Washington. BYU beats Wyoming. Good job, Mormons. Texas loses to Texas Tech in overtime, and Barstool, Texas Tech is absolutely fucking insane. Some kid pushed a Texas player there at the end. The cops are searching for him. They need Quentin Ewers back immediately because Texas is going to start getting down on themselves, and we're not going to get a good Texas team for the Red River rivalry. I want Texas to be good for that. Speaking of, Oklahoma lost to Kansas State. You got anything to say about any of that?
I had Texas in that game. I was very disappointed. They need Ewers back.
They need Ewers back. And here's something I heard on it was either Late Kick or Barstool. Lincoln Riley went to USC. All the Oklahoma fans were mad at him because he could not win that Kansas State game. For some reason, Kansas State always had his number at Oklahoma. And they said, look, you're not going to be able to – you're going to do the same thing at USC. You're going to lose to Oregon State. You're going to lose one of those games. Meanwhile, this week, he goes into a tough Oregon State team and a tough environment there, beats them, and then Oklahoma's stuck losing to Kansas State still. How you doing, Spooners? How you doing now?
Oklahoma Spoon.
Oh, man.
Hate. Sorry. Fuck Oklahoma, dude. I hate them. I don't like Oklahoma. I don't know why. All right. Well, I'm going to try and wrap up this week really quick. So if y'all have any games, go ahead and shout them out or stop me. Notre Dame beats North Carolina. I didn't see that coming. I had North Carolina for one of my locks. That was my bad. Miami. The Hurricanes get destroyed by Middle Tennessee, and now they're about to get a hurricane. So maybe get some of those Middle Tennessee people down there, I guess.
Middle Tennessee's coach, former Florida State quarterback Rick Stockton, afterwards he said he was going to get a bunch of texts from his friends in Tallahassee. He was flaunting. He loved beating the Hurricanes. Miami has never beaten Middle Tennessee. They're 0-3 against them. They've never held a lead against Middle Tennessee.
Interesting.
Insane. That's like a curse or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Stop scheduling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dumbasses. Anyway, moving forward. Speaking of curses, Jordan Hare Stadium's got to be cursed because Missouri lost in the most disrespectful way to Auburn. It was overtime, and the guy almost scored a touchdown, literally millimeters away.
What did you see?
Reached the ball out, and it went out the back of the end zone, or the guy recovered it in the end zone for a touchback. Desi.
What?
Desi. What, did I see?
Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was
Oh
perfect.
my God.
That's great.
Well, okay. So, but did you see how it ended in regulation? The Missouri kicker, he's actually like really well known. He doesn't do warm up kicks, and he missed like a 26-yarder that would have won them the game. Sent it to overtime because he missed it.
Did you see a lion stretch before he takes down a gazelle? No. Fucking
no, he's just like this big. He's this big kicker.
He's
hit like
chonky.
52 yards. Yeah, he's chonky. This man, he doesn't take warm up kicks, and the man like hits it like wide right. I'm like, how did you chip shot? Come on.
That sucks. All right. Any games you guys want to talk about? Oh, Appalachian State goes down to James Madison. What in the hell is up with that? James Madison's undefeated.
Baby. I had James Madison. I loved it.
You can't work
James,
Hail Mary Magic 2 weeks in a row. That's for a fact.
James Madison, man, that's interesting to see how they're going to turn the Sun Belt this year. Really excited for that one. I did want to throw out on the Middle Tennessee game that Escambia running back Frank Pizant led the team in rushing and had a touchdown that game versus Miami as well. I called some of his games when he played at high school. That guy is a baller, always out the gate.
Nice. And we'll end it with two Florida teams. UCF pretty much physically dominated the Georgia Tech team. Head coach is out from Georgia Tech, so the Georgia Tech coaching position is open now, and we knew that was coming.
Look out for Deion Sanders.
Look out for Deion Sanders. I've heard that one too. You listen to Barstool Sports too, don't you?
Well, that's coming out from everywhere. That's not just Barstool. Oh, I listen to Barstool podcasts, obviously, but
yeah. All right, and then Joey, here's your moment. Florida State absolutely destroys Boston College from the beginning of the game to the kick, from the opening kick return to the end of the game. Jordan Travis threw for 321 yards. Florida State looked good. My brother texted me. He's a Florida State fan, and he was like, "Is it me or is Florida State actually good this year?" I said, "I think they're actually good."
yeah, I won't spend a whole lot of time on this game because Boston College, they're not that good. I thought they were going to be better coming into the season. They're starting walk-ons on their offensive line because they've been so injury riddled. Jordan Travis did look good. You can't. I mean that he just looks good. He looked good since the beginning. Since the first game against Duquesne, he looked good against LSU. They dominated the team they should have dominated. They did their job. They covered the spread by a mile. Good for us. Got a hard game. We got 3 ranked teams in a row coming up.
Yep, this is gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one from here on out. We're gonna see if Florida State's a real deal team, but then this is probably the first time in a while that they beat Boston College the way they typically used to and are supposed to. So we're gonna get to see them actually take on these teams, and maybe Florida State could actually be that Florida State that we all know and I hate, but Joey loves.
Yep. All right, we'll move on. Week 5, and we got some locks to give out, gentlemen. Davis texted me his locks, so we'll just go ahead and read those locks out since he's not on here. He wants Arkansas plus 17.5, Rutgers plus 40.5, and he wants the NC State Clemson over.
I think I hate all those picks except for Arkansas.
Yeah,
I guess 2 or 3.
That's terrible locks, Davis. Hope you watch.
I know, very weak. Very weak. I was like, where's the drama?
Yeah.
No drama in that. It's just come on, man.
I'm gonna throw a lockout for South Carolina State at South Carolina. Come on, dude.
Hey, before we get going, I owe a shot from previous. I missed one before, so I'm going to take that.
Let me see what my locks were last week. Yeah, we can go ahead and take care of that now. Justin, you had Clemson -7, and you had UNC, so you lost both of those.
What was my other one? Taylor?
Not legible. It's not legible handwriting, but it doesn't matter, so you have to take a shot.
What was the score of the UNC game? I can't remember.
The UNC game?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was
Notre Dame kicked their ass?
Yeah. It was at least 10 points, and then you had 2.5 plus 2.5 UNC. I had West Virginia -2. That one hit, and Wake +7. So that hit too. So I'm safe.
I don't think I've hit a single week yet. Like I think I've literally have missed every single week.
Yeah, we're gonna tally them up. So
for the record, Robert, I got them on the board so I can prove it. I had Temple -9.5. That hit. USC -6.5. That lost. Baylor +3. That won.
Good job. All right, we're getting better as a whole podcast. That's what I want. If people come to this podcast and they expect to make money, go somewhere else. Look, we're just talking shit.
I've had 2 profitable college football weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, I think I'm one. I think I'm starting 1 because we aim for 2. Eddie, we aim for 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. So if you get 2 out of your 3 locks, you don't have to take a shot. You get 1 out of 3. You get less than 2 out of 3, then you got to take a shot. That's the way we do it. So I think this is the first week I'm not having to take a shot, which is nice. All right, so we'll get into it. Let's see. Davis had Maryland 65, and he had the over Maryland and Michigan. I think that might have hit. Actually, we'll see.
Yeah,
actually, I don't think it
definitely hit.
Definitely hit. And he had +7 Wake, so he's good. He didn't have to take a shot on that. He does have to take a shot for the shot game, though. We'll get him next week. All right. Moving on. We got some Thursday night games. South Carolina plays South Carolina State, BYU and Utah State.
Who cares?
Tulane at Houston. That's throwaway game, but Tulane's gonna win. I like Tulane this year. Don't know what the spread is. Anyone have Tulane picking?
No, it's disappointing. Houston's 2-2 though.
Yeah. Here you go, Joey. This is a game you wanted to talk. Actually, I'm not gonna skip past this game just because they beat Middle Tennessee and the Roadrunners. This is a Roadrunner podcast, baby. We like to meet, and they're going to Middle Tennessee on Friday night. Like to be a good game.
I like this one.
Yeah, I got 3 high-profile games I'm going to lock in, but this is a higher confidence game for me. I love UTSA in this game. You said we're a Roadrunner podcast. Middle Tennessee coming off that huge win. I expect a letdown. They're letting down against a team that's going to put up 1 billion points. So I love UTSA, only -4. No, I'm going to lock 3 high-profile games.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, see, that's always the thing. Like, you lock small games, and it's like, yeah, but when they hit, you don't get that same feeling, you know? I'm sorry, I'm writing this down real quick.
Okay.
So we can keep track of the locks, because I always have to bring them back up. All right, another game on Friday night that we mentioned earlier. Washington goes to UCLA. I think Washington's going to win this one. UCLA and Chip Kelly are undefeated up until this point, though, so it makes for a good Pac-12 Friday night. Both teams undefeated. Washington's favored -3. Any takers?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like Washington. I like Washington against Michigan State earlier this year when that was a rat line and Washington beat the shit out of them. UCLA, look, they're 4-0, but they're a weak 4-0. They almost got beat by South Alabama. They played Colorado last week and won by 1 billion. Everyone wins by 1 billion against Colorado. Washington's a good team. UCLA's overrated. I haven't been impressed with UCLA since Chip Kelly's been there. They've been middling. Washington is way better than middling. I'm locking in Washington -3.
I'm going to hop on the Joey train. I'm going to lock in one on Friday night as well. I'm going to lock in Washington -3 as well.
Go ahead, lock me in for it as well.
Oh, right. We got 3 locks. Let's
piggyback this. Y'all piggyback this.
No. I mean, I can, but I've been looking at some of these other odds though for Saturday, and there's a lot of games that make you like that raise an eyebrow or two. Like, that's an interesting line right there that you'd be curious to see how it's gonna play out.
There's some rat lines out there this week. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it. All right, Michigan playing Iowa. I don't care. I think Michigan's gonna get this one, but after that Maryland game, I'm not even gonna touch it. I don't even want to touch this game. Michigan's favorite -10.5. I think they'll get that. The over/under is 42. I don't think I want to touch it. Iowa's defense usually good.
I can't figure out Iowa this year. I can't figure them out. I'm done with it.
I just want to touch it. They can barely produce offense. They can barely produce touchdowns. I mean, don't touch that. Don't touch them at all. It's not it.
All right. Next game, 11 a.m. We're going to the SEC. Our special guest, former Kentucky football player, Eddy Kane. You guys are playing Ole Miss. They're breaking out some fucking blue Realtree camo helmets for y'all. They look kind of badass.
Blue camo helmets?
Yeah, they got some like Realtree camo helmets.
It's weird. It's cool, but it's weird. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the baby blue, the all baby blue jersey they have, those are sick. I do like
powder
those.
Blues. The powder blue.
Yes. I don't know about camo. I don't know where that came from.
No, but here, I mean, Kentucky's ranked 7th in the nation at this point. That might be the highest ranking y'all have been in a while. I don't know since
yes, it would be.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't know. It hasn't been in any of our time. I don't think we weren't alive the last time they were ranked this high. I can almost put money on that.
I was trying to think. I was like, I think maybe Stoops had them up pretty high a couple years ago, but not this high. Ole Miss is ranked 14. It's at Ole Miss. It's in the Grove. Kentucky not favorite here. Ole Miss is favorite. Minus 6.5 for Ole Miss. Over-unders at 54.
You can lock me in for Kentucky all day, every day.
We'll lock it in.
I got 2 locks to use here. I don't know if there's one I want to use a lock on. It's but I definitely have Kentucky plus 6.5. It's I think this line on Ole Miss, I don't think Ole Miss is real deal though. I don't think they're real deal.
I don't either. And I think Kentucky gets up for this game. And judging by how they played Northern Illinois, maybe they were peeking at some film for Ole Miss last week. Who knows?
Yeah, I really like this game. It's almost a rat line. But I think just Vegas is – I think everyone's disrespecting Kentucky here. They don't believe the rankings. Ole Miss has been better as of late. They're playing at home. Kentucky's just a damn good football team. They're a solid football team. They play good defense. They got a good quarterback. Kentucky is going to cover this spread. They're going to win this football game. Lock me in. Kentucky plus 6.5. I love it.
I'm a lock in Kentucky too. I don't understand why they're not favored to win this game. Maybe because it's in Ole Miss. Maybe because Ole Miss's offense. But I think they get over that rough hump from last week. So I'm going to lock it in, and we're going to get Kentucky, yeah. Kentucky, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
They've played one real team this year who's a Power 5 school, and that was Florida. And we know Florida, it's not there yet, but it can be. There's potential, and it's not hitting in all cylinders right now. But Kentucky, they outplayed Florida fair and square in the swamp at night, which that speaks volume for any team that can play that. Mm-hmm. This game, if Ole Miss and Kentucky, Ole Miss, they held Georgia Tech to no points, which that was probably their most impressive win to me. I mean, they've beaten Tulsa, they've beaten Central Arkansas, they beat Troy. That's another impressive win, at least in my book. But you hold Georgia Tech 42-0, that's a good win. I like that. But I still would take Kentucky.
I actually kind of disagree with you. Georgia Tech's trash.
They beat them the way they're supposed to. They beat them the way they're supposed to.
You're right. But I'm not impressed by any of these teams really that Ole Miss beat.
Take it this way. Clemson allowed Georgia Tech to score, and Ole Miss held them to nothing completely. I mean, so you can take it that way if you want to take it that way, but they beat them the way they were supposed to.
How was it playing? Did you guys ever play Alabama when you were there?
We played LSU, and I think they were getting ready to play Alabama the year after I left. So no, just LSU. That was a big game.
And you guys played Florida, and you were there in 2011, 2012. So that would have been Will Muschamp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are down.
They came. They came to Kentucky that year. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Kentucky's a dude. I went to a game. I went to a Florida game there, the one where Felipe Franks got hurt and Kyle Trask started. Like, that was his first game coming in. And that was a wild game. Kentucky should have won that game to break the 31-year streak. They didn't, but Kentucky's one of those environments where, like, people don't even talk about it, but stadium gets wild and loud.
Yeah.
Kroger Field, baby. Kroger Field.
I think Sawyer Smith was playing that game, too.
What'd you say?
Sawyer Smith was playing that game, too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Pensacola guy.
Yep, out of Tate.
Yep. All right, so move down these games. I'm going to move quick in the interest of time. If you want to talk about one, go ahead and stop. Purdue at Minnesota. Minnesota goes into Michigan State last week, gets the win, and Michigan State and Sparty looking real bad. Just going to throw that out there. Texas Tech goes to Kansas State. Kansas State coming off a big win at Oklahoma. And what's this guy's name? Martinez?
Adrian Martinez.
Ran all over Oklahoma. They could not stop the kid. And I'm looking for him to keep doing that. He's an exciting player. I want to keep watching him. Yeah.
He's not an exciting player because if you watched him play for 3 years or however many years in Nebraska, he was a bag of garbage.
Okay, come on.
He was like really exciting to watch last week.
Exactly. He did well last week. He played great last week. That's the outlier. That's not the norm. We have tape on this kid. He's not good.
Okay, no, can't say that. He played under Scott Frost. Scott Frost didn't use his talent properly.
Scott Frost won a national championship.
Shut up. Shut up. Actually, shut up. No, but we saw that this kid was a Heisman. Like, this guy was a preseason Heisman watch list favorite. Like, he was top 5 in Heisman
Everybody
projections.
is, though.
No, they're not. No.
I mean, differing opinions here. Who was right on the Jordan
mean,
Travis debate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving you that. I mean, I can always admit that. Yeah.
You guys seem like there's some debate here. Do you guys want to put a shot on it? A Justin Joey shot game?
Yeah, I actually do like Texas Tech, so I'll take Texas Tech.
Wait, but I like Texas Tech. No, I love Texas Tech.
Oh, I thought you liked Tech.
He loves it.
I mean, Gallo. Boy, no, you just can't say the kid was trash when he wasn't used properly by his old coach.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't really been that great this year before this game.
Maybe this was a coming out game, or maybe this was an Anthony Richard ball teaser game. You know, he's gonna tickle him when you play a top 10 team, and then he's gonna go just fall flat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Nebraska film over last week's film.
All right, well, look here. If y'all aren't gonna put a shot on it, then we're gonna move on.
I'm willing to, but it sounds like we're on the same side. So
no, I mean, Texas Tech's a good team. I mean, I'm taking this all day +8. Actually, lock me in for this +8 Texas Tech. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I love it.
Yeah, I think you're out of locks.
No, I got one more.
Did you not lock Kentucky in?
No, I didn't lock in Kentucky.
Okay, let me cross you out there. All right. Moving on, Oregon State at Utah. Utah's looking good ever since that loss at Florida. They're undefeated since. Oregon State coming in off after a loss to USC at home. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. I think Utah gets them. I think Utah is looking really good. I think they're moving pretty smooth. -10.5. I don't know. Oregon's got a solid defense. Oregon State's got a solid defense, so I'm going to stay away from that. But just going to be an interesting game to watch. I think Utah gets the win.
Oregon State's frisky. I'll probably take the 10.5. Not a lock.
Gotcha.
I mean, I want to run off Oregon State as well, but not a lot.
Gotcha. All right.
Don't pass up the UMass game, Robert. I know you're about to do it. Eastern Michigan's free money. Take them if you're smart.
There you go. Yeah, Eastern Michigan, UMass. Always look for UMass if you want some
What's
money.
the odds on that?
-20. Take whoever plays UMass, bet against them.
If you do it all season, you'll be...
You have any other games like that?
Yeah.
Colorado. Right now.
Colorado's doing bad. We're doing bad right now.
That is a very profitable strategy. Bet against UMass.
All right. Alabama going into Arkansas. It's first time Alabama's playing. Oh, God. Here we go. Them spicy chicken nuggets are coming
Did you
back.
have like indigestion right there? What was
Yeah,
that?
dude, that was bad. So, Alabama played Vanderbilt last week. Before that, they played ULM, and then they had Texas. So they've had a couple cupcake weeks, weeks, and now they're playing Arkansas. Arkansas coming after that salty loss. I think Alabama gets the win here. I think Arkansas covers. -17.5. I think Arkansas is going to cover.
Yeah, I like this that odd from Davis earlier, that lock.
Yeah.
It was the one lock I liked from Davis. I think Arkansas, you know, they're a good team. Alabama's, I hate saying this, but they're not that Alabama team this year. I just haven't been impressed with them watching them. So I like Arkansas to cover. I like Alabama to win. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. The overs, I kind of like the over. I'm not going to bet it just because that 61's a lot of points. But
there you go. All right. Ohio State playing Rutgers. Ohio State's going to kick their ass.
This is a really good slate of games. A lot of good games this week.
And the thing about this year is even when it's a down week, like we've had great games. We're getting spoiled this season. Like, honestly, there's so much parity going on in college football right now. A lot of these teams are kind of on an even playing field, and I like it a lot. That's what everyone wanted, right? We didn't want to see Georgia and Alabama in the national championship, SEC championship every year. We want to see different teams doing things. That's what's happening. Teams are losing. Things are getting mixed up. I like it a lot. Transfer portal, paying players. That's what's going to happen. Anyway, Oklahoma State going to Baylor. I think Oklahoma State's going to continue this streak of winning. You don't know when Oklahoma State's going to lose that one. You don't know when. I don't think it's this week, though. I think they'll win. Baylor's favorite -2.5.
Yep.
I just you got it.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas, they don't care about rankings whatsoever. They scream that at you week in, week out. They scream it with the Kentucky and Ole Miss game. They scream it with this game. They scream it with the Wake Forest, Florida State game. They never, and also the A&M Mississippi State game. They don't care about rankings. They don't care what the AP poll says. I mean, they know something a little more, and their lines usually hit really well. But this week, I'm probably going to run with Baylor again still because I just like the way they're playing ball.
Yeah, I've liked Baylor the last couple of seasons. I think they have a really good head coach. I think it's kind of a rat line. I think it's one of the ones I was talking about before. I think Oklahoma State should be favored in this game. So I am going to take Baylor. 1, because I like betting on them. 2, because I think someone in Vegas knows more than the public does.
Interesting. All right. You want to put a shot on it? I'll put a shot on this game. Just make it
I got
interesting.
you. Shot bet.
All right. I got Mike Gundy in the I'm 40s. Moving on. Penn State Northwestern.
Who cares?
Northwestern might be as bad as Colorado. I don't know. I'm joking. They're not that bad, but I'm not impressed with them. Wake Forest travels to Florida State. Here you go, Joey. Take the lead.
Yeah, this is a great game. I think it's the first ranked game in Doak Campbell Stadium since like 2016, which will be cool. It's not going to be canceled because the weather will. If you're still watching. Wake Forest coach is being a little bitch. He's acting like he's not going to travel. It's not going to be safe. Storm's going way over there. It's going to go across the state of Florida, so it's going to be fine. The eye's going to be in Daytona before it hits Tallahassee. So I don't know, balls up, fucking Wake Forest, and get to Tallahassee.
Put your balls on the table, Wake Forest.
Yeah, put your balls on. That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get it out of my mouth.
Well, it's
just
just
the balls out of my mouth.
It's like no one else is used to hurricanes except Floridians. They're like, everyone's like, don't you guys have a hurricane hit? And we're like, dude, no, just come play football.
Go play some fucking football. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is going to be it's going to be a good game because I see FSU having a tough time stopping Wake Forest offense. They run that weird little mesh offense that they hold the ball and the running back's arm so long. If Jared Verse plays in this game, which I think there's like a 50-50 chance, I think FSU wins this game going away because he is too quick, he's too fast, he's too good, and he's going to blow that up faster than Wake Forest wants it blown up. But if not, it's going to be a shootout. Wake Forest defense isn't good, and FSU's offense, they're like a top 5 offense in the nation right now. Jordan Travis sees it. He hits it. They have wide receivers. They have 8 wide receivers who've had over 20-yard catch. In the 2013 championship team, they only had 7 the entire season. We're fucking 4 games in. I mean, they find people who's open. They scheme one-on-ones. We're going to put up points. Sam Hartman's going to put up points. FSU wins this game. I don't like the spread. To be honest with you, I don't like that -7.
The over-under at 65, though.
I think it's going to be like a 44-41 type thing. But if Jared Verse plays, I think that changes the whole game. So,
all right.
Well, I mean, you go into this game, I don't think the correlation from receivers that have over a 20-yard catch or not really says much.
It's just saying there's playmakers on the team.
Okay. But Wake Forest, they ball out. And -7 is a little too much to give for Florida State right now. And this is either lock. Wake Forest +7. Give it to me. I don't know if they're going to come out with a win. I think they have the potential to, but right now Florida State's just rocking.
You locked Wake?
+7, yeah.
+7. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to lock this one because I think Florida State's going to get the win here. I think Doak Campbell's going to be rocking. It's a 2:30 game.
Yeah, it's not going to be rocking, dude. There's a hurricane hitting half the fan base.
Yeah,
they're going to be there. I think they're going to be there, dude.
No, they're all evacuated. They I know so many students at FSU, half of them are home here in Pensacola.
Yeah, that's what worries me about this game.
So it's going to be tough.
I think it'd be like a 75% crowd.
Y'all give me 1 second.
They cancel classes.
Robert just left. Yeah, classes have been canceled since today. But
yeah, I mean, they canceled classes, so the fan base will take a hit. The student section won't be rolling it the way it does. I think that's what makes Doak the Doak. I mean, students, they go hard. Damn, we just lost Rob. All right, so I guess I'll take over then. So we're gonna move on to Texas A&M, Mississippi State. This game right here, very interesting to me at least, just because you have A&M who comes off a very strong win versus Arkansas, and they're playing Mississippi State in Starkville, and Mississippi State. They're favored -4.
Sorry, I got to catch back up. My ESPN moves FSU all over the place.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I kind of – it's almost – again, it's another – I said there's a lot of rat lines this week. I think this is a rat line. Shouldn't Texas A&M be favored here? Why is Mississippi State?
I mean, so I'm going to hop on, and I'm going to play some bets towards some of these underdogs,
See, this screams Mississippi State to me because, again, it screams that Vegas knows something more than I do. So I'm going to stay away from it because I love A&M +4, and it's a sucker bet to me. So, but I would pick A&M. I'd pick A&M to win this game.
I think I would go with Mississippi State, too, just to do it. I'm not going to lie.
I like the way they play. I mean, they're fun to play, but the thing is, Leach is so inconsistent with his play calling. You don't know. It's like he's going to go beat LSU off a national championship winning season and put up 600+ yards through the air. Yeah, he can do that, and then he'll go fall flat. He's very inconsistent with his play calling. He'll have a great game. He did well versus LSU. I thought that was a decent loss for them just because they played close. LSU showed true colors. But you look at their other games they've won, Bowling Green, Arizona, and Memphis. That doesn't scream a team that's going to beat a top 25 team right now.
But here's the thing. Texas A&M is probably going to run with this Jimbo Fisher offense. They're going to run about 50 plays in this game. Mississippi State is going to run close to 100. They're going to run 80, 90, 100 plays in this game. So are you going to take the team that has half the offensive players? You're going to take the team that has twice the chances to score.
Well, when we look at this, I didn't look at this, but I just checked it out. Will Rogers, guy is second in passing yards in the country with 1,400. He's tied for most touchdown passes with 16, and he's only thrown 3 interceptions. So those numbers fly off the page when you talk to me about it, because he's averaging well about 325, 350 yards every game, and he's averaging 4 touchdown passes as well and less than 1 interception. That looks nice. That looks real nice.
I'm talking. Yeah, we're talking. I'm going to bet Mississippi State. I'm not going to lock it in, but I'm going to bet Mississippi State. They're going to win this game. They're going to win by a mile. Fuck Jimbo Fisher.
Nice. Just a spiteful Jimbo Fisher pick. I love it.
Well, again, they're going to run so many more plays. They're going to have so many more chances than Jimbo's offense. Jimbo's going to give himself about 3 chances to score and hope his defense stops.
Yeah, no, completely agree. All right, I'm going to go down some random games here real quick. West Virginia at Texas. Might be a tough outing for Texas. I don't know. It should be a fun game to watch. We'll see. I think Texas might get the win there, bounce back. We got LSU at Auburn. Big rivalry game. Always fun. It's going to be night at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I'm not going to throw a pick out there. I actually do want to watch this game, though. Moving forward, Pittsburgh hosting Georgia Tech.
Who cares?
USC hosting Arizona State. USC is going to win that game.
Who cares?
Stanford at Oregon. I think Oregon's going to win that game, too. Florida, UCF rescheduled their games to Sunday. Florida plays Eastern Washington, and UCF plays SMU. All right.
That should still work for TV because NFL doesn't do ESPN on Sundays, so that should still work.
Right. Yeah. Can we play more college games on Sundays? That'd be cool.
Well, you're going to lose half the people aren't going to watch college on Sundays because they're watching NFL.
I would.
Yeah, I would too. I'm not category, but you're talking about not miss out.
Yeah. Some people literally well, really. So here I've always said the college and pro fan bases are completely different because pro fan bases take place in these big cities, big major cities. College doesn't, except for maybe USC and then maybe Miami. Other than that, what do you really have in these big major cities that have pro teams? You don't really have any other good colleges. So.
USF,
could, I mean, you
Florida.
Say what?
USF almost beat Florida. They're in Tampa.
They're in Tampa. Yeah. We're not going to go over all the colleges. You're so wrong. We're not going to go over every single college in a big city.
I'm not going to go down that road. That was a reach. That was a reach.
That was the shot I was throwing out there. You guys,
that was a reach.
All right. So anyway, that's going to bring us to this week's game of the week. And that's going to be probably, I think, one of the best games in the ACC this year. I mentioned it earlier before the podcast. NC State going to Clemson. NC State's 10, Clemson's 5. NC State always gives Clemson a tough time here, and I'm seeing that there's some locks still out on the board. So I'm looking at this, and I'm going to pick NC State to win. They're plus 6.5. I'm going to lock them in. I just think that they come in this game pumped up. I think both teams come pumped up, but I don't know because NC State did look a little bit tepid against ECU early in the season. They haven't won great.
Well,
actually, no. You know what? I'm looking at it. I don't know. I might change my pick. I might change my pick here.
I just want to give an overview of this game a little bit. It's so that ECU game, that was I had that being a close game. I wasn't going to be surprised if Eastern Carolina came down and put NC State on their butt. I mean, they're fast, they're big, they matched them athletically in every category. It really just came down to coaching and play calling and whoever had the ball last. And ECU should have won that game, but NC State has that win over Texas Tech, and a solid win. It wasn't a close one. That one speaks volume to me, especially after Texas Tech's big win over Texas. And we see that Tech is a good team this year. We see that loud and clear. And right now, Clemson, they have Wake Forest as really their only win that screams towards anybody right now. So that's going to give you a little view. And last year, when I do ESPN, I gave my prediction on this game. I said NC State's going to ruin Clemson's undefeated record. They're going to beat them. They were playing at NC State in Raleigh. They beat them. But when you play in Clemson, it's a little different. That place can be a tough place to play, especially at night. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that is the only thing that worries me about this game is them playing in Clemson. This is a huge game for as a Florida State fan because you play Wake Forest, you play NC State, then you play Clemson. So I'm going to be I would be watching it. I'm officiating a wedding at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
That's
so
cute.
It's right in the middle of the fucking FSU game. I get my cousin live. What the fuck?
Say I do.
You got to plan this shit out if you ask me to officiate your wedding. But no, this is definitely going to be paying attention to. The thing why I'm confident in NC State is, what do they say? Defense travels. Their defense is good. Clemson's defense is good. I hate Davis is over because this is a slugfest. I don't like DJ. I haven't never liked DJ playing quarterback for Clemson. NC State, I do like Devin Leary, but he's been bad this year. Their offense has been bad. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think NC State pulls it out. I'm taking the 6.5, and I'm locking the 6.5. I think NC State wins this game to set up an undefeated FSU, undefeated NC State game.
Good luck. I'm going to lock in NC State as well. I've done some thinking. I think I'm going to lock it in. I've done some thinking on it. I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like, yeah, I guess Texas Tech was, they proved themselves to be an okay team. ECU is very, very physical. And I've been high on NC State all year, and they're undefeated. They've given me no reason not to be high on them. Clemson, this is their first true test. But I guess not. Wake Forest was a test.
Wake Forest is a test. Yeah. I look at this game. I look at anyone that plays Wake Forest, and my top 4 ACC teams right now, of course, are Clemson, Wake Forest, NC State, and FSU. Not in a particular order, just listing them off. But you look at these games, I think two of these teams can beat Wake Forest, and then I think NC State can't, and I think Clemson can, and they did, and then FSU will. But I don't see NC State winning at home. I think this game comes down to where you're playing at. If it was in Raleigh, I go NC State again, but it's in Clemson at night. Give me Clemson this one. DJ 6 touchdown passes with an overtime game. That's a solid game. But once again, you had extra time. Yeah. So
the thing is for me, like, I don't know. I thought Clemson's defense was solid. I know Wake Forest's quarterback is solid. I think NC State can score on this defense. I don't think Clemson's defense is as lights out as we thought it was. And I mean, North Carolina State's defense is way better than Wake Forest. So, yeah, and the transitive property doesn't work, but if I start adding A plus C plus B, I think NC State wins. So,
we're making fucking shirts with as much as you say that. Transitive property doesn't work, but
but I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Eddie, I want to get you in on this one. This is game of week. You got to throw a pick out here. Clemson, NC State.
And it's at Clemson, right?
Yeah.
It's at Clemson.
I had a small stint when I lived in South Carolina, and I got to go visit a South Carolina Clemson game, and over in Clemson. Man, I just can't go against that stadium. That's fucking rocking, man. So
yeah.
Just based off that, I'm gonna go Clemson.
You're gonna go Clemson. I'm gonna lock you in because we haven't been locking you in. You've been kind of quiet over here. I know you've been in the call. I wanted to bring you out, but I didn't want to be like Eddie, talk. I didn't want to be.
No, you're all good. Those like I'm really in tune to SEC. Everything outside the SEC, I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on here, but SEC, I'm just kind of like zoned in on that.
So who do you see? Do you see Georgia being the team in the East like everyone else? I mean, that's pretty obvious. Or are you home team in it?
I mean, you always got that too. Just like you're gonna have your fan base, you're gonna have your at home heart, but then you also have like your brain saying, "All right, choose the right thing here." So I still think it's Georgia. Just those big monsters up front. It's hard to overcome that. I'll still go Georgia out of the East.
Yeah, and just looking at Kentucky's schedule going forward, what do you think you guys finish?
I think we get 3 losses.
Oh,
I think we have 3 losses coming up. I'll say Georgia, maybe this is Mississippi State, and then one I'm just not seeing coming. There's always that one that you just like I didn't expect it. So, but I think those 2 might be losses.
So that's what it's like being a Kentucky fan, huh? You're like, I know we're doing good.
Well, no, what's really like is like knowing like, okay, everything is going good, but I know for a fact we're going to lose our coach. Like we're playing way too well. We always get treated like a stepping stone. We're going to lose our coach here.
Well, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? I mean, here's the thing. He's at an SEC school. Where's he going to go?
That's true. I don't know. I guarantee you go somewhere. Like we don't never keep our good coaches.
Nebraska can pay him more money.
You really want to go to Nebraska over Lexington?
I wouldn't want to go to Nebraska, but I'm just
like, come on.
looking for that dollar sign. Nebraska's got the boosters to do it.
Well, I mean, they changed that to Urban Meyer first, so.
Yeah, well, they want someone who's ethical. So
I'm 50-50 on it. Like Eddie is right. Kentucky always loses their head coaches. But Stoops seems like a good fit there. And he already tied Bear Bryant for the most wins.
Yeah, and when he did that, because Bear Bryant was like, that is in history. I had no clue that he ever coached at Kentucky before. So it just made me feel like we've been getting treated like a stepping stone for decades.
Yeah. Who was your head coach when you played there?
Good old Joker Phillips. He was terrible.
Oh, that's right.
He was terrible, man. I remember losing when we lost to LSU. We lost 35-7, and the next day at practice, he went on a 45-minute rant about basically correlating the way that we didn't clean our lockers is why we lost to LSU.
Oh, he did the old
Makes a
George
lot of
Peterson.
sense.
Yeah, the 45-minute, like, oh, we don't have any discipline. We can't clean our lockers. How do you expect to be LSU? I said, because they got fucking 12 5-star guys across the field. Like, that's why we lost. What are you talking about? It's not because I didn't put my shorts up.
And after that, did you clean your lockers?
No! No, I didn't.
Well, I found the run.
My shorts is not clean. We lost 35-7. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, God,
But that locker room was spotless the next week.
Oh, he was awful. I didn't like him
that's
at all.
funny. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Eddie. Follow our guest at Eddy Kane Comedy on Instagram. Do you have different plugs for different?
I try to say the same. They're all through the Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Eddy Kane Comedy, all throughout.
Yeah, and go see him up in Mobile, doing comedy mainly in Mobile. Right. Yeah.
Actually, I'll be in Pensacola Saturday at the Vinyl Hall.
Yeah. With Zach
I'll be.
and Gaskell.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll be in that one, and then on Sunday going back up to Birmingham at the Stardome Comedy. So
Nice.
a little everywhere.
Congratulations, man. That's great. And thanks for coming on the show once again. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had 5 consistent live viewers. You guys are loyal fans to the College Football Extravaganza Podcast. Give yourselves a round of applause or find something better to do on a Tuesday night. All right. Until next week, y'all. Have a good one.